Hello students, this is Ms. Rebecca from the Reach for the Stars program at Longfellow Elementary. Welcome back. Now we are reading chapter 2 of Just As Kids Shipwrecked by D. Stewart. So I hope that you guys have already listened to chapter 1 and have answered your questions for the chapter 1. Okay, so now we are going to be continuing on with our book and progressing with chapter 2. So let's go over the materials that we need once again. So for this activity, you're going to need a notebook so you can write down all of your essay questions for each chapter, a pencil so you can write your answers down, and then once again, some good listening ears. All right. So for April 16th, 2020, today's agenda will include reading the objective for Just As Kids Shipwrecked. Then we will have an overview of the essay questions. We will read chapter 2 and then review the essay questions one more time. Okay, so let's continue to reading the objective. Objective. Students will follow along with the teacher and read Just As Kids Shipwrecked. Once the reading is done, students will participate in a few short essay questions at the end regarding the day's reading. Okay. Chapter 2 questions. Number 1. What word would you use to describe each of the 5 characters? Why? Number 2. What reason does Tyler have for thinking there might be sharks in the water? And what would you do if you knew sharks might be in the water you were swimming in? Number 3. Who is Rory's dad? And why is Tyler so surprised when he finds out? And number 4. What does Tyler do for Willie? And what would you do if you were Willie? So once again, remember to keep your notebook with all your answers. So when I see you again, I can give you some raffle tickets to get the credit. Okay, so let's continue on and read chapter 2. Okay. Chapter 2. The last few days of water are hanging out at the bottom of my canteen when we first see the island. Rory and I jump off the lifeboat and start to swim with the waves toward the shore. We hold on to the straps of the lifeboat and pull it along with us. Finding this island is a relief because I was about to tell everyone when we ran out of fresh water, drinking water, our next option would be drinking turtle blood. Not very appetizing. And I know the kids would start crying again. Do you think there are sharks? Rory asked out of breath as we pull the boat closer to the shore. I feel smooth rocks under my feet, and I can stand rather than swim. We still pull the lifeboat behind us, but it's easier now that I'm standing. Of course, I answer because I know this water is warm enough for sharks and full of food for them. This water would be perfect for all kinds of scary things. You need to stop that, Rory says, swimming faster. She's not as tall as I am, and her feet don't touch the bottom yet. Just say there are no sharks here. I tell the truth, I answer, but I move a little faster too. Becoming shark food sounds like a terrible way to start this new day. The sand is under our feet now, and we can both stand. We practically run the boat onto the shore. The kids are cheering as they tumble out of the lifeboat. They have been for 2 days. I start trying to figure out right away what I can about the island. But the kids, even Rory, are just rolling around in the sand like everything will be okay now. I'm not supposed to tell them they are wrong? We need to find out if there is fresh water here, I remind them. It seems like they keep forgetting no one here is to help us. It's just us kids, and we need something if it's up to us to get it. I need a rest, Rory whines, flopping on her back. We all do. No, I put my hands on my hip and look at all them acting ridiculous. I feel like I'm like my teacher, Mrs. Richardson. She always makes sure our class does what we're supposed to, even when we feel like flopping around and doing nothing. I now realize she has a hard job. There is no time. The good news is there are plenty of coconut trees and palms. That means there's probably fresh water, maybe even people. I wonder what island this is, Rory says, staring at the sky. I wonder where we are. I hope my dad is all right, Tom says, not rolling in the sand anymore. His face looks sad and worried. His eyebrows kind of wrinkled together. They are, Rory says, for sure. They probably just drifted away a different way, or they already were picked up by a rescue boat and they are looking for us. Or they don't have any supplies and they are not okay, Willie says, pouting. Rory is angry when she answers, and it makes my stomach jump with worry. My dad is the best survival guide in the United States, she explains. He wrote the book that made all of you want to come with us to Australia. Your dad is Mickey Lutz? Tom asked with wide, excited eyes. Yes, Rory answers, now looking embarrassed. Her cheeks are pink, and she looks away from all of us. I read all his books, I say, thinking of the hours I spent in my room trying to imagine the adventures I could have someday. His books were my favorite. Now I'm on an adventure. It's funny because I just want to go home. Where do we go to the bathroom? Like number 2, Willie asks, looking around like a toilet might grow out of the sand if he looked long enough. We all laugh because no matter where you are, that is funny. Digging a hole. Dig a hole, I tell him, pointing into the woods. Find some soft leaves because there is no toilet paper here. We can't just go in the woods, Rory corrects, and now she sounds like the leader. We don't know what's out there. She's right. This is a completely unknown place. I know what could be here, though, and it's not good. The list is endless. First, there are small insects and spiders to worry about, from creepy crawlies to long and slithering poisonous snakes that could be anywhere from the trees to the ground. I need to find a place for shelter and a bathroom for this group. We need to stay far away from the poisonous trees and brush. But we need cover from the sun. This seemed easier when it was something I was reading in a book. Willie, give me a second. I'm going to check out the area to the left of that large overhanging tree. They all stare at me as if I won't come back. Maybe something out there will get me, and they'll be on their own. Okay, but make it quick, Tyler. Willie makes a face like he can't hold it much longer. When I get to the area, it looks fairly safe and private. I check out the ground for something to dig with. There's a piece of bark that should do a trick. After inspecting it for spiders, I pick it up. It takes me a few minutes, but I dig a small hole. I'm sweating right through my t-shirt because the sun feels so hot. Almost ready for me, Tyler? Willie asks, squirming over to me. This is your bathroom, I explain, and Willie looks puzzled when it clicks. I don't really like it here, Willie complains. Me either, I say, walking away to explore some more. Having a quiet moment to myself, I think about everyone else who was on the ship with us. I hope they're okay. Is my mom worried? She always worries. I stare at the horizon over the ocean. It's beautiful. The island is too. I almost forget for a minute to be scared. Almost. All right. Now this is chapter 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we're going to take one more time a look at our questions. So then you have an opportunity to pause the screen and write down the questions, or you can even scroll back through the video and listen again to the reading so you can find your answers if you missed them. Okay? So number 1. What word would you use to describe each of the 5 characters? Why? Number 2. What reason does Tyler have for thinking there might be sharks in the water? What would you do if you knew sharks might be in the water you were swimming in? Number 3. Who is Rory's dad? Why is Tyler so surprised when he finds out? Number 4. What does Tyler do for Willie? What would you do if you were Willie? Okay, Once again, keep your notebook with all your answers to receive raffle tickets. Okay. Hope you're all staying clean and washing your hands for 20 seconds. Take care, and I will see you next week.